Hello and welcome to Audiotree Live, the place to discover your new favorite band. Today is Monday, November 17th, 2025. My name is Jason, and we're coming at you from Chicago. Today, we have a band that has one of the most unique voices in metalcore, from combining elements of hardcore, metal, and even industrial. Their hooks will get stuck in your head just as much as their riffs. All the way from Boston, Great American Ghost. Take it away, guys.
darkest decay. This chaos swallows everything. We are the tragedy, so close and turning. The dawn denial overflames. I watch you burn, I watch you burn to break. To my failure, my rise. The universe on the nail that fractures fate. We are one with the break and the one road. Can you live with nothing left? Oh, the tragedy, so close and eternity. Going denying our flames. I watch you burn, I watch you burn and break.
Hey guys, this has always been something strange for us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you who watch our videos are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So could we please ask you a favor? If you like this show and you like discovering new music and you want to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to just hit the subscribe button. And our commitment to you is that if you do that, our team will continue to get the best bands we can, we'll listen to your feedback, we'll book the bands you want to see on the show, and we'll continue spreading the word of live music to the world. Thank you so much. Well, goddamn, y'all. That was some big music here. Huge sound, love it, high energy. I'm feeling it, guys. How's everybody doing?
We're so good.
Great.
Thank you. You're giving us spirit.
Good. I'm glad to be giving you guys spirit.
Yeah, it's great.
You guys are currently on the Tragedy of the Commons tour with Risk Meets Razor, Downswing, and Salt Wound. I want to ask you guys, is this your second U.S. headliner?
This is our second U.S. headliner, yeah.
Okay. What is it like going from maybe being more of a support band to then being shifted into a headlining position like that?
It's terrifying.
Yeah?
Yep, the word's terrifying. It's like you take on all the responsibility that you didn't realize other bands were taking on, in the way that, like, it just feels like everything is your responsibility as far as taking care of the other bands and making sure that the tour is routed correctly and making sure that the people show up and that they show up at the right times. And so there's just a lot that goes into it that you don't realize until you kind of hit the road and you're headlining, and it's like, oh wow, this is actually really, really scary, you know? And then the anxiety that comes with just being a band, just like trying to get through it and, you know, make your mark.
That does make a lot of sense. I mean, when you're having this whole package that's under your name, I'm sure there's a sense of responsibility that comes with that naturally.
Yeah, of course. And there should be. I mean, I think, you know, headlining bands, we've toured with some that take responsibility for the bands that they're touring with, and we've toured with others that haven't. And we've always felt as though when we were in that position, we would like to be the band that takes responsibility for the bands that we take on tour with us. And so we hope we're doing that. We're trying, you know, the best we can. And that's almost as important as succeeding for us, you know, like, and I'm not being hokey because I'm on camera or whatever, but like, sincerely, it matters because we remember those bands that took care of us, and it was how important that is, even just little things. It's valuable. So we hope we can do that for them. And then, like I said, trying to be popular is scary.
Well, I think that's a great sentiment. I think that's awesome. You guys prioritize taking care of the whole package. I think that's great. And I mean, you must learn that from years of experience on the road. You know, just like you said, you deal with packages where it's not like that. You deal with packages where it is, and you remember the good ones and you remember the bad ones. So I'm sure that you've implemented those lessons here. Did you guys get to pick out the support bands for this run?
Yeah, we did. We picked them all. You know, when you're inside baseball here, when you're booking a tour, especially a headliner, essentially like you make that deal with your agent and you figure out how that's going to work. And then they send out messages to other agents and they're just like, if you have any bands that want to do this thing, let us know. And then we hear from every band that wants to do it. And then we just pick the bands, you know, dependent. So, yeah, it's, again, a big responsibility. And so there were a lot of conversations between us and we feel like we made the best decision, you know, possible. We're very happy with the bands that we're on the road with, and we're very grateful that they trusted us, you know, because it's a give and take. It's a lot more of a symbiotic relationship than like people even realize, you know.
Definitely. And I think you guys made the right move. It's an awesome bill, a very cool, diverse lineup.
Thank you.
For getting something a little bit different with each heavy hacked. I think that's great.
Yeah. That's kind of the goal. I mean, if you're going to do it for 45 days, at least you would like to be entertained.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's where we're going. That's the second priority to making a really cool tour.
Absolutely. So, guys, I want to go back. Early days of Great American Ghost. Early days. Let's go back to the beginning. You guys are from Boston. And Boston, I'm guessing everybody in this band's probably in their 30s-ish, around that area.
Yes.
Yeah? We all know the great bands that boomed from Massachusetts when we were growing up. You know, you got your bands like, God forbid, Killswitch Engage, you know, All That Remains, all of these big metalcore bands booming from that area. What was it like for you guys growing up in a scene like that?
Well, so to answer your question, interestingly enough, we are from New Hampshire. This band is from New Hampshire. It started off in Boston because that's where I lived when I started it. But now we, you know, claim Manchester, New Hampshire. That's our hometown. That is my hometown. That's the town I grew up in. So that was an experience in itself. And then Boston was 45 minutes down the highway. Now, because of the internet and the way that bands work, none of the other guys in the band are from that area. So Grayson is from Arkansas. Tron is from Tacoma, Washington, and Sebastian is from Quebec, Canada. So we are all from these different places, and I know that we all had these different experiences, and they can speak to theirs. But I will say that, like, starting out, you know, Great American Ghost was just an American Nightmare, like, rip-off band. That was all we were, and Hope Conspiracy, because I'm from New Hampshire, and so, like, those bands were 45 minutes down the highway from me, and they changed my life. Like, genuinely, you know, American Nightmare, Give Up the Ghost, The Hope Conspiracy, those bands, and all the bands that came out of Death Wish and that time, the early 2000s, mid 2000s, like that, those bands shaped what this band is, and I like to think that you can still hear a little bit of it, you know, in the band through me, but everybody else has their own stuff, so they can speak to their upbringings in their area.
I mean, I will say Boston is like the connection of how we met.
Yeah.
You know, Scott Lee, just that whole New England area. Crimson wasn't in...
Crimson Management,
Yeah. I mean, Boston's always kind of been like, I don't know, it sounds corny to say, but like a second home for me personally. Like, played there so many times in my old bands. That's how I met Ethan, is from my old bands. Shot a music video the day they caught the Boston Bomber and then played at the Palladium. So it's like... Boston's kind of like, I still feel like I'm from there sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you guys get this sound developed, right? And you're citing a lot of metalcore bands as we're speaking too. But something I found when I was researching the band too was you guys have coined this term, industrial metalcore, which I love that. I hear a little bit of Nine Inch Nails going on here. So I'd love to hear you guys elaborate on that a little bit. How did that term come about? How did this industrial element start to kind of become more prevalent in your music?
I think it was just like a natural progression of what we listened to outside of the music that was being written for this band. We all liked Rammstein and Manson and Nine Inch Nails and all that shit, and then like Author and Punisher, bands like that. So, you know, you're always trying to like expand on what you're doing somewhat and like take things with you, leave shit behind, whatever that is. So there's all these like, I guess not normal elements to like the music that we just enjoyed listening to that we're like, well, fuck it, we should try to put that into what we're doing. Because if we're gonna do anything original, then we might as well like just do what we naturally like and try to create something that we do. For me, like I'm shitty with computers. I don't know how to make that stuff. So I just have to like make scratches on my guitar and like place them, you know, in a session and stuff. And it's like super archaic, but I think that kind of like lends itself to the sound that we're getting. So it's not just like fucking keyboards and beeps and boops and stuff.
Yeah, it felt like such an obvious epiphany to have where we were, you know, building this record, Tragedy of the Commons, that we came out with this year. And when we first started writing it, you know, we're all listening to different kinds of music and we're comparing and contrasting. And then, you know, my journey with that kind of music had like started, you know, in like 92. I was very young. I'm like 3 or 4, but my brother is older than I am. And he was listening to Pretty Hate Machine. I mean, that record like changed music. And then the Downward Spiral, I remember when that record came out, I was 5. And so it's like my brother went out and bought it at a Strawberries or something. And so it's like that music has traveled with all of us throughout our musical careers. And so we eventually just kind of like, we're writing Tragedy and we were like, we love this Nine Inch Nails song, or we love this Ministry song, or we love this like Depeche Mode song. And we would reference these things. And then we're like, why are we just like bringing this in rather than like talking about it and how much we like it? And it's like that epiphany seems obvious, but it definitely happened very organically, and I'm very grateful that it did, because that record is special to me because it feels like what we do, and then also like a shot of something I grew up with that meant a lot to me and still means a lot to me.
I've been a bartender at a nightclub that has goth industrial DJs for like the last 10 years, so I've always been the metal guy at the industrial nightclub. And a lot of those sounds are so familiar just from working in that industry, and it's fun. It's got its own specific groove, but like implementing all these sounds that we hear all the time into our music has kind of just been fun. It's heavy and fun, and yeah, it feels natural, I guess, like the natural progression of where do we go now.
That being said, let's hear a couple more songs, guys.
Hell yeah.
Eradicate the human plague.
crawl closer to reality. Is this the end of days? How far? Wash it away.
The answer from corpses, dead men on borrowed time. Lacerations too deep to heal. Legends of vile fucking
Choir, you're all below. Can you the hate in your soul?
Scorchers for the harvest, rotting limbs, your poison fruit. Generational torment, suffering you crave. Empathy is but a sickness buried in an unmarked grave. You fear what you own, siren without a throne, a coward that dies alone, died in the hands of your throne.
Take a look inside. Tell me what you see.
I know you can hear me from your hollow groan. No choir here or below can heal the hate in your soul. Target the hands on your throat. Target the hand around your throat. Target the hand on your throat.
That was Writhe. Drummer, that whole section you were playing before that first chorus, when you're hitting that small china for that groove, that was so cool. That was awesome.
That's
Yeah,
like
thank
every
you.
drummer's favorite part when we go on tour.
I am a drummer myself, so that was easily my favorite part of the set so far. That was really cool, and I kind of understand, kind of elaborating on what you were saying earlier when we were talking about that industrial sound. It almost has that feel to it on a natural drum kit, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it's
has
just
a
the
cool
fact
groove.
that there's like no other instrument playing really during that part makes this cymbal really stand out. It's a great vibe.
It's awesome. The part's just really creative, dude. Kudos. That shit kicks ass. So, as we were just talking about, as before we left off on our last interview break, you guys have put out this year your newest record, Tragedy of the Commons.
Yeah.
So this record, when I first discovered Great American Ghost, it was right around the same time I was discovering bands like Dying Wish, Orthodox, kind of like this new level of metalcore that was really booming off at the time. But I do feel like after listening to your guys' discography from the beginning to kind of where you are now, you could see so much natural growth. Like a lot of these songs, I'm hearing a lot of big choruses with a lot of singing in it, and I think you guys do it really well. What was kind of the idea behind that push on this record?
I think a lot like the industrial aspects of the band. I think that we all just really enjoy that aspect of the music that we play. And I think that we all feel really drawn to choruses and to singing and to clean vocals just as much as we're drawn to, like, screaming or any sort of vocal like that. And I think that our draw to that just led us to want to write parts that fit into what we liked. And it was never this dynamic where we were like, okay, here we need to do a chorus because people like choruses. Anytime that we ever enter the studio, the only thing that we ever consider is if we like it. And I'm sure bands say that, but we genuinely mean it. Like, we genuinely don't really care in the studio if anybody likes it. And then afterwards, we worry about that. So that's kind of our way. And so when, it happened really organically, actually. We were writing a song called Hymn of Decay, which is the song that we play first on this session. And we wrote this chorus, and then Anthony wrote the chorus, the actual lines, and he wrote the actual melody in his car while he was driving, and he recorded it on his phone. And there's a video of him just singing into his phone at 3 a.m.
That's so cool.
And then we come back to the studio, and it's like, hey, Ethan, I'd done some cleans, and I pitch scream or whatever you want to call it, and we were like, oh, let's do this chorus. And then we knew Gray had a voice. We knew he could sing. But we didn't really know the extent of it. And so Gray was very modestly he's like, yeah, I'll get in there. And he just went in the booth and he sang this part, and it just like came to life so much that there's a video of Tron and Nico, our guitar player who's not here right now, and I all like laughing hysterically because we couldn't believe that he had been like, he's like, yeah, I'll sing a little. And then he walks in and just like angelically hits this chorus, and we're all like, you can sing a little? We're like, what are you talking about? So then it grew from there, and we were just like very inspired. And so, yeah, and all three of our voices kind of fit together in a cool way, and it was just like happened, and
Dude,
is really nice.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Not only, Grayson, you got the fucking secret weapon voice over here, but on top of that, all three of your voices fit so well together that to me, if I had never heard this band before and I was hearing you guys play these songs off this new record, I would have been guessing that you guys had been working, just the three of you together as vocalists for years at this point. It's so coordinated well. And I love a band that has... We got three dudes on the mic here. I love that. Give the drummer a microphone. Let's get him singing.
He's a great vocalist. That's actually true.
Yeah.
I believe it.
He doesn't talk a lot, but if you give him lines and he screams them, he's actually really good.
I can't come up with anything on my own, but if you tell me what to do, I'll do it right.
It's really cool that you guys are doing this. And something else that I think is just really interesting to point out is like, I remember when we were younger growing up, hearing bands like Killswitch Engage and the like. I remember talking to guys about like, why would you go for music, with more clean singing? And then people were like, because it's the popular thing at the time. But it's so cool to hear a band take it as their own just because they genuinely like it. And I think that's what makes these songs sound so authentic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
man, it's like the same shit as all the Nine Inch Nails influence. Like, my favorite band is City and Color. So if I can like do Dallas Green stuff with Behemoth riffs, then like that's the end goal.
Yeah, it's the best case scenario for all of us. So that was kind of the logic, and then we found that, and we're very lucky to have found it.
We've always just served the song. Like, it's never been forced. It's just demo gets brought, and it has this really cool melodic section, and sometimes you just gotta sing over it, or you gotta scream over it. It's just like whatever sounds best, whatever we think that's cool, So yeah, it's always serving the song. It's not forcing anything, just because we think that's what we need to be doing,
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds like you guys serve the song the right way it needs to be. And you guys worked with Will Putney on this record, correct?
Oh yeah.
What was that like this time around?
Will's a genius. I hope he doesn't watch this while I say nice things about him. No, I mean, we've worked with Will 3 times. We're also just extremely close with Will in general. He's a close friend of mine and all of us. And so it's very impressive to watch Will work because Will is a machine of what he does. And you can walk into a room with Will and play him a song, and he understands it almost immediately, and he understands what it needs almost immediately, which is such a rarity because a lot of the time when you're working with somebody, it takes them a second to wrap their head. They got to, do this thing. And Will he just is that guy. I mean, he is as good as everyone says he is. And he's also, our closeness to him allows him to be like, that sucks. Don't do that. And like everybody thinks their kid's cute. So, it's hard to hear that you're like part sucks, but sometimes he's right. And then other times, like, we fight him and we're like, no, we're keeping it. There's a song we're playing in this session where he, and to his credit, I mean, he is a massive part of writing for this band, and I would give him credit. He's written lyrics. I'm owning it. I don't care. But, like, he's a huge part. But in the song that we're going to play last in the session, Forsaken, he was like, you should change the chorus. And we were like, no. And it's my favorite part of the song. So it's like, we just were like, no, we're not doing that. And he was like, yeah, fair enough. If you have conviction, he will stand with you. But if you give him any like reason to be like, you're not sure of this, he'll tell you that you're wrong and that you should change it. And it's a beautiful thing. It's something you really need. And it would be very hard to, not have that voice in the room.
Honesty is the best policy, especially when it comes to making a record.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Lastly, we have a band here that has grown so much. We have these vocals that have blown up. They sound so awesome. We have these industrial elements. You guys are so focused these days. I just want to know, creatively speaking, what could we expect from the future of Great American Ghost?
Everything.
More
I
music.
mean, I feel like
anything.
every time you make a record, the little new things you try is just a bigger green light for the next record. So, I mean, if you want to get like specifically, then more of the industrial production elements are definitely going to keep working their way in there, and then a lot more dynamics, of course, with the different vocal styles. But that is, for me, that is like the two main things that we're just going to keep expanding on without losing any of like the things that our older fans like about us and that we still enjoy about playing metal. You know, we still like playing riffs and techie stuff, so we're not going to lose any of that. We're just going to add to it over and over again.
If Tragedy of the Commons is like a shotgun blast, then the next release is going to be more sniper shots. Like, we found out what we like. Even just playing the record live, you realize, like, man, I love this song. This song's my favorite song now. It's like, it wasn't when we were in the studio, but it's like we found things that we like just from playing the record over and over again. Oh, we should do that on the next thing. So it's definitely more focused than it seems now. But, yeah.
Yeah, I think that you make the rule so you can break the rule. And it felt a lot like with the nucleus of this band being now what it is. Tragedy of the Commons was the rule. Like, we made it, we wrote it, we did it, and we saw it. And it was kind of like it's like the mission statement of Great American Ghost going forward. And then you move forward and try and break that, you know, with every single release, you know. So what did we do on the last one? Can we do it better, more, or can we completely flip it so that someone hears it in a way they never heard it? And that's the goal. So we just always want to be creating things that we care about and that we like and that speak to us. And we sincerely believe that as long as we do that, then we'll find an audience, you know.
All right, fellas, let's hear that last song.
Of God, no feast of mammon.
Alas, we have reached the end of our session today. I would love to thank the camera crew, the audio crew, and everybody here at Audiotree to make this session possible. I would love to thank Great American Ghost for the amazing performance today. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, anytime. That being said, if you love what you hear, right now you can listen to this session on Spotify, Apple Music, and any streaming platform known to man. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss on discovering even more cool bands. Once again, my name is Jason. Thank you so much for your time today, and we'll see you very soon. Peace.